What it is, people. It's good to be back again. And today we're going to have a look at Have Your Say. Yeah, this is going out to everyone at hashtag 101. Yeah, that's Arsenal, hashtag 101 Facebook. Respect to you guys, 2,000 strong. Peace to all you guys. But let's have a look at see what you guys are talking about and your opinions and views. So we have Carl that says, how furious was Guendouzi at the missed chances? And Carl's saying to fans, you demand success for your support because you pay the highest prices to watch your team. Well, not really. I mean, FA Cup and European games are included in the season tickets. Most other clubs don't have that. So, yeah, it's a good deal what they get. I think it works out to about £47 a season for each game. That is very respectable. If you compare that to some of the Category A games, I think we got a good deal at the Emirates. Yeah, let's not lose sight of that. But the media like to spin it in terms that we should expect the best because we pay the most. We don't pay the most, guys. I went to the new camp a couple of months ago in Barcelona, and some of the tickets were €300 each. So yeah, let's keep perspective on that. But he's basically saying, Carl is saying, if we can't get 24 points from the next 8 games, that's 8 straight wins in a row, then something's wrong. Joyce, hey Joyce, how you doing? Joyce says, there are no easy fixtures. Bang on, girl. To expect 8 wins in a row, that's a lot of hype, and I'm not sure about that. Damien says, winning 8 games in a row, some fans' expectations are unrealistic. Damien, I agree. To win 8 games in a row, that's a long ask. But Nabil has an answer. What's good, Nabil? Wembley massive. And Nabil says he expects 5 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And if we had that, I would accept it. That would be a good run in the next 8 games. Because we really don't know what's going to happen. So that's good expectations there, mate. Jay said, it's mad. We have a 19-year-old that's more passionate than the entire squad. That is a good statement, Jay. You're bang on. For those of you who don't know, Guendouzi after the game, after speaking to David Luiz, went over to the Arsenal fans at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and gave them a round of applause. There was no other red shirts around him. No other Arsenal fans. So this kid, not only does he have a blinder, not only does he let go the expectations of when Aubameyang misses his chance. He goes up to him and he says, hey, mate, that's cool. But this guy comes and claps after the fans. The players are annoyed. They're pissed off. They're like, we've lost at Stamford Bridge. Let's get in the changing rooms. I've had enough of this. I don't want to talk to nobody. Close off my phone. Shut my doors. This guy, humble, has just walked over to the fans. First of all, he's probably congratulated David Luiz. Well done, mate, on a deserved win because, Chelsea got the job done. And then he goes over to the Arsenal fans and claps us. Gives us a clap. So, David, what are you saying, David? David's saying, who will our next manager be? Okay, well, so let's give the guy 2 years before we start talking about a next manager. But my answer to that question is it's probably going to be Pep. Because by that time, he would have won everything with Manchester City, and he'd be looking for a new challenge. And a new challenge would be Arsenal. And that's only if Emery's failed. I believe Emery will turn it around. I believe that will be 4 transfer windows that he would have had the money to buy the players who can play in the system that he wants to bring at Arsenal. And it's clearly he doesn't have the players to do what he needs to, what he's instructing to do at the moment now. So yeah, so the answer to that is Pep. Brian, this is a funny one. Brian saying, what is Garth Crook smoking? Saying Guendouzi is killing Arsenal. Brian, all I got to say to you is the truth is in the name. Garth Crooks. Okay. Mukhtar is saying, remove me from doubt. What is our problem? Well, the problem is quite straightforward. The players are not adapting to the manager, and the manager, in terms of his system, they're just not adapting. He's only been here 5 weeks, the manager. The players have only had about a month of pre-season. If we consider that we started somewhere training around third week of July, pre-season didn't start till August. Yeah, they've not even had a month playing together. What's the expectations there? But the players are simply just not adapting to the manager, and the manager also hasn't made the transition easier. He hasn't looked at, which I find strange, and I've talked about this in videos before. I find strange that you play 4-3-3 and 4-4-2 in preseason, then you come against some of the top teams in the league, and then you go your 4-2-3-1 against those two teams. Yeah, I think with the team having played 3 at the back for so long, and then the history of the team was 4-3-3, I think it may have been easier if you kind of implemented your pressing but did it in a formation that the players themselves could understand. But he ain't doing it, so let's see what happens against West Ham. Craig, what's good, Craig? Craig says the only thing we'll probably have is all these teams would have watched our games and seen how we've struggled in terms of struggled at the back, so they'll be up for it. Again, I touched on this, I think it was in my second video, where I said Chelsea were going to copy what Man City did. They tried to. They tried to, but it seems that us playing out from the back, we're getting better. Against Chelsea, that wasn't as much of a problem as it was against Man City. You could see at some points that Chelsea was trying to press. They did have 4 or 5 players in our half when Cech had the ball at his feet. But Arsenal found a way to deal with that. And Chelsea at the same time didn't want to overcommit their players. So I think it was a little bit of both. But that will continue as the weeks goes on. I doubt West Ham would say, guys, let's push all of our attackers and midfielders up and put as much pressure on the Arsenal defence. They don't have the players to do that. Not in the way Man City does. If that happens, Arsenal will absolutely torch them at the other end. So I can't... In one way, I agree with you. The teams have looked at the footage. They will be kind of adapting to some of the holes we have. Take, for instance, Chelsea played some balls over the top. They played some straight through the middle of the centre halves. And Socrates and Mustafi were struggling with them. So I think that's some of the things that they'll do. They'll try and catch them out on movement. Kesna, what's good, bro? That's good. What's good? Kesna says, if he plays our strongest 11, we might have a good chance to do well, but I am only looking at the next game and nothing beyond that. It's a fair assessment, my brother, and I know you can see things in the right way. So yeah, respect to that. I agree with that. One game at a time. That's the only way we can do it. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. Prince, what's good, Prince? Yeah, my African brother. Prince saying Iwobi represents his club in the best possible way, hoping that he'll get the opportunity to play and do better. Yes, he will. The boss is obviously going to like what he saw in terms of the defensive work. And let's be honest, it's the defensive work that's creating the problem with the players on the field at the moment. And that's the reason why he made changes. What we saw from Iwobi was great backtracking and also persistence going forward. He was a thorn in Chelsea's defence. His passing, his movement off the ball, his strength on the ball as well. Iwobi is, if he doesn't start against West Ham, I'll be shocked. And it's going to be a tough team sheet because what do you do with Ramsey? Remember, he replaced Ramsey. So that's going to be a tough call. But I think he's earned another start. And whether that means dropping Ozil and moving Mkhitaryan to the number 10 role, then we're going to have to see how that plays out. So, Gabula says 17th in the league is a sign of relegation. How many years will Unai Emery spend with us? I answered that before. He'll be 2 years, and don't worry about 17th, because if we win against West Ham and we put a run together, as Nabil said, then we're going to start climbing the table. So, bro, 17th, but only for about a couple of more days. Nicholas, what's good, mate? Nicholas says, if we don't beat West Ham, we would be in crisis. We should have at least come out with a point yesterday to avoid the pressure. Yes, we know. Yes, the Arsenal players would have seen that, but yes, City and then Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge, that is as bad as a fixture for Arsenal's new boss that you could have. We don't make the rules. Premiership set the fixtures up, and we just have to deal with what they put in front of us. It's unfortunate, but what else can you do? And Randall. So, Randall, this is the last question, guys. Randall has said, can someone explain to me why the Ras, he actually used Ras, why the Ras Steve Bowl is doing? What Steve Bowl is doing? Well, Steve Bowl ain't doing anything. In my match day commentaries, you guys have heard, I've talked about Juan Carlos Carrido. He is the assistant head coach. So imagine, when you go from being Wenger's second in command, and then some guy gets brought in who is an assistant head coach, pretty much tells you that they don't have no use for you. But in saying that, I'm sure behind doors there's a transition in the locker room to the players from Unai Emery, from the message he's bringing forward. The strangest thing for me, though, here's why I say Juan Carlos Carrido is the man for the job. Not only do we see him on the training ground, remember all that YouTube footage of Arsenal training on the training ground, it's him that's training them. It's him that's training the players. Also, when game time is on and you're looking at the sideline on the bench, not only is Unai Emery standing up, throwing his hands around, but so is Juan Carlos. He's doing the same thing. So imagine, have we ever had Pat Rice doing that? Have we ever had Steve Bowl doing that, where they're stomping up on the sidelines, barking orders? If someone's doing that's telling you how much influence they have on actually training and coaching the players. So he's Emery's trusted assistant, and Steve Bowl is not. So Steve Bowl's there just for transitional reasons, picking up a paycheck, and next season he'll probably be gone, and that's it. So guys, that's your Q&A session. That's where you guys have had your say. I will be covering this just to make sure that the world of YouTube can hear the voice of Arsenal, #101. And guys, like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. Honored to be doing this. Peace out.